What is up? Welcome to this edition of Producing for Artists. For those of you who may or may not know, my name is Jason Dowdy, JDM, Jason Dowdy Music. It's your boy. Welcome to another edition. Hold on, I got this. There we go. I was going to say I got this in portrait mode, so I'm just trying to get used to that a little bit. All right, so the purpose of this group, for those people who do not know, the Facebook group Producing for Artists, is that we want to learn the mindsets, we want to learn the marketing skills, the music creation skills to monetize our music. If you are like me, trying to learn how to monetize your music is like this big puzzle that nobody can really explain to you. And you've got all of this like advertising and like people trying to sell you this course and that program and this and that, right? And it can be a little bit confusing. So I'm just kind of like a super shopper, right? I take all these courses for you. I let you know what works, what doesn't. So maybe that'll help us all make money together with our music. And the reason I started this course is, or this, sorry, this group is it's more about like I feel like there are just a lot of musicians out there, like music creators who feel like their time has passed, right? That they could have made music when they were young, but now that they're older, there's not really an opportunity because you think you can only be like a music idol, like a star, right? But there are so many other avenues and different ways you can make music and get revenue streams. And you're going to build a lot of skills along the way as you learn how to do that to get even more revenue streams and ways to make money. So that's what this is focused on. We cover four basic, every producing for artist sessions. We follow the same framework. So we talk about four things. We talk about number one, music creation, and that I normally save that for the end. We talk about mindsets, which is probably the most important thing. I feel like as musicians, we probably get in our own way more than anybody to stop us from being successful, right? Marketing, marketing, and I kind of want to throw networking in as well, like just getting yourself out there. A lot of musicians and music creators are also introverted because we like just kind of being in our dark room in our studio making music, getting in that flow state, right, doing all of that. We don't necessarily like talking to other people, but if you want to do something with your music, you have to, right? You got to put yourself out there and you got to find a way to talk to other people. So we can talk about ways to do that in here as well. All right, cool. Let me bring up the chat overlay real quick. There we go. Just in case some comments start coming in. Lee Carter, I'm the only one that's watching. Well, welcome. Well, it looks like It's Cupcakes is also watching. Oh, happy birthday to you, Lee. Happy birthday, man. What and then Ant, what's your opinion on ants? I don't have an opinion on ants, so sorry about that. I guess we're getting a little couple people watching from YouTube. I normally don't stream to YouTube, so I don't know. That's pretty cool. All right, so if you are interested in this stuff, cool. Let me bring up our agenda for today and let you know what we're going to talk about for the next hour or so. Yo, what's up, Pat Carney? I'm playing your beat at the end, so we're going to check that out. And thank you for that tip on that LFO trick. That was pretty cool. And I always wondered like how they do like those fast stutter effects. Maybe that's how they do it. I'm the only one that's still watching. No, we got other people on. See, I'm streaming to Facebook and other stuff. All right, but anyway, let me take a look here real quick. All right, let me bring up the agenda for today. Let me find it. Do, do, do. All right, here we go. Okay, so today I'm going to go over jasondowdy.com and all the free stuff you can have there. I always like to do that at the beginning of every show after I explain the purpose of the group, just so you know there's some free stuff you can have to help you along the way if you're trying to make any money from your music. We're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about adaptability, and I'm going to share a story of I don't know if you call this person a celebrity, but a well-known person and their story and how they adapted to the market, and you kind of have to be able to do that as a musician today. We're also going to talk about the new strategy that we're using for Facebook, kind of go back over that. It seems to be working, so we're going to look at the results. I'm going to talk about building a website, and I know that sounds old school. It seems like everybody's on social platforms nowadays. But a website is still relevant, and you should still build one. And I'll explain the reasons why on that. And then we'll get into the music creation piece, where we'll talk about we'll do a music review. And I don't really have any music tips this time. If you want any tutorials on FL Studio, I got a ton of them though, so I'll show you where those are. All right, cool. All right, so let's start with Jason Dowdy. I really like and subscribe. Can you have a nice painting? I don't know, Lee. How my name is Rocky. What is your name? Hey, I'm Jason Dowdy, JDM, Jason Dowdy Music. Nice to meet you. All right, cool. So let's go right into it. Let me share my screen. And if you hear my dogs, I apologize for that. But I'm just going to open up Jason Dowdy Music so you know all the free stuff you can have. So let me share. All right, so let me go back and see what I'm sharing. Let's do this. All right, cool. And I'm going to take the chat overlay down just so everybody can see the screen a little bit better. And we're going to go with this view. All right, cool. So when you go to Jason Dowdy, that's DOWTY, jasondowdymusic.com. And if you're part of Producing for Artists, the Facebook group, it's linked right there in the top of the group page. Here's what you're going to see. So if not, if you're watching from YouTube or something like that, just go to Jason Dowdy, DOWTY music.com and go right here, and you can join Producing for Artists. It's absolutely free, just a free Facebook group. But here we have some. I'm going to start with the Learn page, the free FL Studio courses. These are not going to be free forever, but for now they are. So if you go there, you're going to see a course on producing for free. So if you are a producer, or if you're an artist, a songwriter, something like that, and you've been like, you know what, I've always wanted to produce my own music, but every time I've tried it, I just keep hitting roadblocks. It doesn't sound good, something like that. This producing free course will help you get your first professional sounding track in under 2 hours up and running, just using FL Studio, like the basic version, and some free stuff you can find on the internet. So you can have like a decent track right off the bat. It doesn't take much time, and you can kind of get your feet under you and start getting some success early. Producing for Artists is more of an intermediate to advanced course. It has over 8 hours of tutorials, and they're all broken up into like nugget sized things. But it goes all the way from conceptualizing your track to the final mix down and all of that. And then Swarm training, songwriting, recording, and mixing. That goes over, maybe you don't want to produce your own music, but you want to know how to use a DAW so you can get your song ideas down, sing, mix, all of that kind of stuff. That goes over that. There's some also some mentorship. So if you want some one-on-one help, I offer a program for that as well. And there's also this freebie section. I also want to show you this. So there's a few sample packs if you want those. And also, if you click this, you're going to find some contract templates, an AI songwriting guide, how to make money with your music, how to double your fan base, a lot of good little resources, PDFs, video tutorials, and stuff like that as well. So cool. I just wanted to make sure anybody watching this knows where to find all that. All right. So now let's get into it. Let's talk about mindset for a second. So let me stop sharing my screen. All right. And let me make this big. Here we go. Okay. So let me see. So this time I want to talk about like adaptability and resilience. Oh, hi. My wife said hi. Hi, Sam. Hi, wife. She never pops into these. So today I'm going to talk about this though. So I follow somebody, listen to all this guy's podcast, and I have been since probably like 2013, 2014, something like that. And his name's Jason Pargin, and he is an author. So I don't know if you've heard of him. You may have. I think most people have not. But he wrote a book called John Dies at the End. And it ended up becoming a movie. Some people say it's a cult classic, that type of thing. But the reason I'm bringing him up is he adopted a mindset that I think will help any music creator out there that wants to do something with their music. Because when he started when the internet was just beginning. So if you're Gen X like I am, you might remember the late 90s when people were dialing up, doing, America Online, AOL, and first signing on. He was one of the first people to really embrace the internet and started a blog before anybody knew what a blog was, right? And he went in there and started a website, started his own community, and wrote his book one chapter at a time. He had a following. He had a pseudonym, like he didn't go by his real name. He went by David Wong because it was a character in his book. Um, but what he liked about it was he didn't have to. Nobody had to know who he was. Nobody had to see his face, hear his voice, anything like that, and the work spoke for itself, right? And I feel like a lot of musicians feel that way too, music creators. They just want their beats or their songs or whatever to speak for itself and to people to embrace that, but they don't necessarily want to be in the spotlight. So he did that, had some success, ended up publishing the book. The book got into that movie directors, the right movie directors' hands. They ended up making a movie out of it, and that kind of launched his career as an author. And then he ran a website and stuff like that. Well, he's still an author, but he had to adapt to the ever changing technology. Meaning, back in the day, the internet was mostly text, like it was text based. If you wanted to download a picture, it took like 4 or 5 minutes because, you just had a dial up modem. Then as, broadband came along and that type of stuff, we could get images a lot easier. So things like Instagram, oh, what was that? I can't remember the name of it. I never was on it, but like uh other image-based websites started popping up, and people were like, all right, well, everybody, you need to have an image. So people need to know what your face looks like if you want to have a following, right? And then obviously as, 5G came along and all of that, now we're on to short form videos. Everybody's watching videos on their phone, they're scrolling and all of that. Well, this guy who doesn't like to be necessarily have his face and his name out there and that type of stuff had to adapt to the market. So he wanted to keep being an author for a living. He didn't want to have to get a real job and all of that. So he ended up, joining TikTok. He posts videos on just some interesting observations um, that he has, in the day. He's got like over 550,000 followers. His videos have been viewed over 500 million times and all of that. He never wanted to be a personality, but he adapted to the market and what people were asking for. Because nowadays, people don't buy music, they don't buy books. I mean, they might, if it's Stephen King or somebody like that who's really well known, they might. But for anybody else out there, they're buying. People want to be entertained, educated, inspired, and all of that from something you provide. You want to be an interesting person so that people look and say, "Hey, what is this person all about?" And then that's what gets people interested in your music. So it's a little backwards, right? It's not the music that gets the attention; it's you that gets the attention. Um, that being said, I know some people maybe have an old school like mentality. They might think, why don't they buy books? Well, I mean, some people do, but it depends. Like, people aren't going into bookstores anymore, really. Like, all of the mom and pop stores are pretty much closing down. There's only one national chain left, Barnes and Noble, but like all of the other ones have shut down. Borders, all of the ones that used to be big chains. People buy books, but there's so many things competing for your attention. I'm glad you asked this, Lee. This is a good question. Like, back when I was a kid, we had like 3 channels on the TV, and if it's Sunday afternoon, golf was on or the news, right? Like you went outside and you played or you read a magazine because there wasn't that much to do. But now there are, I don't know how many streaming services. I don't know how many, options you have for reels or for, TikToks or whatever on your phone. You have like a million choices of something to hold your attention, right? Um, a book, it's a lot harder for a book to, be one of those things that's asking for your attention when you have all of this available to you. So he got on TikTok, he got a following, he got people interested in his books. That's what got him a deal with his publishing company. So it's similar with music creators, right? Music labels are all, they're not what they used to be either, right? They're basically just distribution now. They used to do marketing for artists and build their following for them and all of that. They don't really do that anymore, and they're not going to sign an artist unless they already have a big following on, social platforms. And like basically what they do is they take your, you've reached this much success, they just take you the rest of the way with all their distribution channels. So I hope that makes sense. That being said, and I'm kind of speaking to people from my generation or maybe millennials who grew up with a little less options, and maybe a little bit of a, you might have like a legacy idea of what the music industry is like, but it has changed. So what we're trying to cover in here is if you want to be successful with your music, we'll give you the ways to navigate these social platforms to build your own following and all of that. All right. So cool. That's the story for today. That's the mindset part. So let's see what the next part of the agenda is. All right. So last week I talked about Facebook. And the reason I brought up Facebook is, there's a million social platforms out there. I would say if you are just trying to be successful and you're trying all the platforms at once, that might be the problem, right? You might be trying to make it on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, like everything at once. I would say just focus on one. And for producing for artists, since Facebook already offers groups, that's what I'm focusing on first. And we went over a strategy last time that seems to be working pretty well. Um, what I was trying before, just to give you some background and context, is I was trying direct messages, and every part of my soul hated it, right? I don't want to bug strangers unsolicited, right? I just don't want to do it. I tried it and it's just not for me. And I know a million people are saying, well, if you want to, expand your reach and be successful at this, you have to do that. I say if it's not right to you, don't do it. Um, Instead, yeah, you can ask a question, Lee. You can ask a question. Um, so what I'm doing is being active in just a few Facebook groups, answering questions, trying to help people. I've also optimized my profile. I've optimized my page. I'm doing this every week, live streaming, started my own group, and all of that. Just to give you a background on Facebook in general, what we talked about last week is there are basically three or four parts of Facebook. So number one is your personal profile. Your personal profile, think of that as your home, right? It's something you might want to invite people back to. They may want to be your friend. It's a little bit more of a, uh, intimate setting, I guess, as compared to a group. So think of a group as a party, right? You just have a bunch of people at the party. You're not going to walk up to some stranger at a party and be like, "Hey, I'm selling you something." Right? Obviously. No, you instead you want to, educate, inform, inspire, you want to be interesting, all of that kind of stuff. And then if, you've helped them in some way or they find something you said interesting, then they may ask you for things, and that's when you can, invite them back to your house and say, "Oh, well check out my profile," right? And then there is the pages. Think of your page as your storefront, right? Your digital storefront in Facebook. Here's what I'm all about. Here's my music. Here's my offerings, that type of stuff. All right. And then there was one other part of Facebook that I never really talked about last week, and I was trying to remember. But those are the three main things, right? I'm looking at your question here, Lee. What do you do for your life? You mean like what do I do for a living to make money and pay bills and all of that? So I lead a team of digital marketers. So that's what I do, just like for money in my real life. This group is all about trying to monetize your music. I have not monetized my music enough to not have a full-time job doing it, right? So I have to have a 9 to 5. And I think that's a lot of people out there, which is okay. Let's start building revenue streams and come up with ways to supplement what we're making now. But yeah, that's what I do for a living. So in this group, I'm also going to share some marketing tips. We're going to get into especially meta advertising. I also have a background in that as well, so we'll go over that as well. But we're starting with organic reach because if most independent music artists and music creators, right, we don't have a lot of money to invest up front. So let's start with making some money to begin with that we can reinvest, right? All right, cool. All right. So the strategy for that is, let me go to Facebook and I'll show you how we're doing. So let me share my screen real quick. And I will share, I guess, entire screen. We'll go with entire screen. And I'm going to go with this. There we go. All right. So let's go to the group. So when I started this group, well, I started it last year, but then I left it alone for a while. But I came back to it probably, I think this is the fourth producing for arts artist sessions that I've done a live stream for. So when I started, we had about 100 members, so we've gotten 174. So I was trying that DM, like direct messaging strategy. I think it got us up to like 130 something, and then I tried this other strategy for, I think it's about 2 weeks apiece. So for 2 weeks, I tried direct messages and got about 34 people, and then after that, I got more like 40 people doing this other one. So the other strategy is just join other groups, right? Um, so if I go to my homepage and try not to spread yourself too thin, right? You want to have maybe 3 groups. I have 5, but it could be just because they're not that active. But you want to have like probably three that you're really active in, where you can help a lot of people, get your name out there, show your music. One golden rule I would say is never show your music unsolicited. You never want to spam anybody. You don't want to be like, "Hey, check out my music" all the time, right? No, if nobody's asking for it, chances are most people aren't going to listen to it until they know you. So one of the groups I'm active in is Heatwave Music Group. Just so you know, they have every Friday night around 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. They have like a listening party type of thing. Sometimes they have competitions. Sometimes, like last night, they had a get feedback on your music type of thing. Um, but I'm really active in here, and I look for posts, look for ways to help people in this group. MIDI money is another one. So people that are like-minded, trying to make money from their music, I try to not only help in that group, but maybe get some pointers as well, and then make pop music. So I'm mostly a pop producer. Spend a lot of time in that group trying to help others that have questions and picking up tips as well. So in order to get yourself out there, you have to be active and you have to dedicate time every day to go into these groups and be social, meet people, friend people, and all of that. That's something I haven't done in the past that I'm doing today. And so far, it's been working. I'll come back to the stream. It's all right. Yeah. And I've got, if you join Producing for Artists in the Facebook group, you can always watch the replay, and well, you can watch it on YouTube as well. But there's also um little like snippets of the most valuable information. I try to like cut it up into snippets and put that out every day as well. All right, cool. So that's the Facebook strategy. You have to optimize your profile, but I went over all that last week, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that. One thing that I have been doing today is building a website, so we'll hop into that next. Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, let's make this big. All right, so As I'm building a new website, I'm also creating a course as we go, and that'll be available to everybody in this group for free until it's like launched officially. Yeah, happy birthday, man. I think it was your birthday. You said that at the beginning, right? Hold on, I'm scrolling back up to see. It was somebody's birthday. Yeah, it is your birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, Lee. All right, so I'm putting together courses. I go. In general, all of the courses that are free in jasondowdymusic.com right now won't be free forever. I would say you probably have a good 30 days or so left to get all of that stuff for free. So jasondowdy, DOWTY.com, or sorry, jasondowdymusic.com. Go there now. Get it while you can. Another 30 days, it should be up. Everything should be free. But eventually, I'm going to roll this into a website and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about the website real quick. All right. So some of you might be thinking, well, everybody's on social media, right? Why do I need a website? All I really need to do is just optimize my profile, make sure it's clear who I am, what I'm about, all of that. It's still really important for you to have a website for a couple of reasons. Number one, you want to have just a central hub for your brand. So think of people that might want to know more about your music. If you have some janky Facebook page or, TikTok or whatever, um, the way that it's structured, it has a feed. It doesn't necessarily have some links, and it's not clear and exactly what you're about and where to go. So fans, industry professionals, collaborators, they can find all the key information, your bio, the about me section, your music, any merchandise you may have. And if they want to connect with you over social media, they'll have that there. And they won't have most important part is they won't have like all the distractions that social media brings. They're just focused on you if they happen to go to your site. Now, sending people to your site, that's another story, but you need to have that centralized brand or hub for your brand. Number two is getting email addresses. So while you could spend a whole bunch of time just building a following on a particular social media platform, then all of a sudden that platform could fade away, or they could change an algorithm that makes you lose contact with people. You never know. It's not your platform, it's their platform. And we've seen them come and go, right? So you want to have that direct fan engagement, direct contact. You want to collect those email addresses. So no matter what happens to technology, whatever happens to social media platforms, you have that one-on-one connection with your people. All right, monetization and e-commerce. If you only monetize, let's say you sell merch or show tickets or whatever it is that you're going to sell as a music creator, if you try to create all of that on different platforms like a Shopify store, a Facebook store, TikTok store, every time you change a product, change a price, anything like that, you have to do it in a bunch of different places. Instead, just have it on your website, and then you can just, aggregate all of those socials onto your website. They can click off to a link that'll provide that for them. So it just cuts down on your admin work if you want to actually open a store. Professional credibility, right? Like having a well-designed website that looks professional is going to set you apart from like the music hobbyists, right? And I'm sure you've seen some bad websites, people that only have a BeatStars page, things like that. I mean, BeatStars is great, but it doesn't have an about me section. It doesn't have, it's more like a digital business card that you have when you have your own sites. Industry professionals will have easy access to press kits, demos, contact info, anything like that. And if you're working with, let's say you want to get into sync music and you're working with a music supervisor or something like that, you want to have a place to send them so they know all about you, your brand, and what you're trying to do. And then finally, SEO, right? Search engine optimization, organic traffic. People can just discover you. You should at least own your name. So if somebody's searching for you, they can find you. Or if you have a band name or whatever it is, get in the top of those keywords right away. So if somebody's searching for you, they can find you on your website. And people are still searching all the time. So if you don't do that, and then you can, you might rank in other keywords that, who knows what your brand is and what you're all about. but you may find a way to rank in other keywords, which is just going to help that much more. All right, cool. So I can show you what the new website's going to look like. VIP Gamer is live. What's up, VIP Gamer? I can show you what the new I never stream to YouTube. Maybe I'll do it more often. I got, people showing up every once in a while. Um, but I can show you what the website looks like so far. Oh yeah, my other piece of advice, if you're going to build your own website, music creators, if you've ever done any mixing, you know that in order to have a good quality mix, it's a good idea to use a reference track, right? Same with the website. Use a reference website, maybe 2 or 3 of them. Go out there, see what other artists or beat makers or, whatever you are. Look for other people that are doing the same thing that you are. Look at their websites, decide what you like, what you don't like, and then start from there. Otherwise, and I speak from experience, I speak from making mistakes. As a matter of fact, I'll do that. I'm going to show you one of my bad websites, and then what I'm creating now that I feel like is better. And this will be in portrait mode. Hopefully it looks okay. Hold on. All right, cool. So let me drag this over real quick. Okay, let me share my screen. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, share. And I'm going to start with, hold on. Here we go. All right. Let me see what that looks like. All right, let me switch there. Okay. So above you see a bad website. So the good thing about this website though is it's very obvious. Every website, if you create a website, you want to have one thing on that website that is a clear action for your person to take. Meaning you don't want a lot of confusing things. You don't want people to, ask people to do this, then do this, then do this, then do this, right? You just want to have that one button, that one thing. You're on my website, do this. And this website does have that, but it's just ugly. Like it's not a good looking website. So hold on, let me find it real quick. Here we go. So up here on the menu bar, there are too many choices. I would say you probably want to have 5 things tops of things to choose from on your website as far as a menu goes, as far as going to different pages. This banner image that I have does not blend in with the background at all. It just has a black background and has this, so it looks like a 2005 website, like somebody's MySpace page or something like that. And if you're too young to know what MySpace is, I'm sorry, but this is what the internet looked like a long time ago. We do have a button here that makes it easy, and we have a video, but it's a little too simple. It doesn't look professional. It doesn't look like this person, which is me in this case, cares much about their career as a musician. Right. Okay. So let me switch to what I'm creating now just to show the difference. And I'm still in the middle of doing this. And you're not going to be able to see it all, but it looks better, right? The background, this part blends in with the background. It's got a nice image. It's got the logo over here. It still has that one thing, that one action it wants you to take. Grab your free training. It has some of the networks and TV shows that I've worked with to have that little bit of credibility that you want to add. Um, Reasons why you would want to sign up for producing for artists. Grab your free training. Eventually, I'll have a video here that explains how to make money from your music. Other reasons to join. Testimonials. Still, we're asking you to do that one thing, and then it has a little bit here about myself, more credibility, recent work, all that kind of stuff, right? It just looks a lot better. So I would be proud to send, a music supervisor or another producer I want to collab with or anybody to this site. I feel like it looks a lot better. And the way that we got the quality up was, you know, using a reference track, right? I used a reference website. I looked it up, found some things I wanted to emulate, and now it's starting to look a lot better. And I'll keep you updated on the progress of this. If you want to learn how to create your own website, reach out to me. I'm happy to help with that. Not a problem. And one other thing that I covered in the website training that I do want to go over is you have to do a little bit of homework before you decide what platform you want to choose for your website, because you need to know. Here, let me bring up all the questions. You need to know, number one, how tech savvy are you? So, how easy is it on this particular platform? Like whether it's Wix or WordPress. Like I know WordPress can get very complicated. They have a lot of different plugins you have to choose from. As you scale up, the price of the subscription goes up, things like that. So, how tech savvy are you? What do you want to sell? How do you want to sell it, right? Do you want to just have a simple product page, or do you want to like set up a sales funnel, all that kind of stuff? What's that main action you want the visitor to take? Do you want other people to sell your stuff? So, do you want to set up like an affiliate program where if so and so sells whatever you're selling, merch, music, whatever it is, they get a piece of the pie, right? Do you want to send automated emails and like have email management as part of your platform? Do you want to sell subscriptions to a community? Do you want to do that? Do you want to have that as an option? Do you want to have a blog? What's your budget, right? All of that kind of stuff. So ask yourself these questions, do your research, Google all the available platforms. It's um, I've done a lot of that research already, and I can tell you the platform that I finally decided on kind of does everything, including email management, and it does automations and things like that. And it's only $27 a month. It's called System.io. It might be Systeme because it's spelled Systeme.io. But you can have all of that for $27 a month. So you can set up affiliate programs, you can start a community with subscriptions, you can like all of those things. So that's one option for you. And I'm not a salesman for them or anything. I've just done a lot of research, and if you're looking for a good website platform, that's a good one to get started with. Okay. Let's see what's next up on the agenda. All right, so you know what? Let's hop right into music creation. So my boy Fiction sent in his beat. And normally when I listen to this beat, the reason that we do music reviews on this show, it's not really like, some people will be like, it's fire or it's trash or, that type of thing. That's not what this music review is for. What I look for specifically is, does your music have a purpose? Is it at the quality that it needs to be? Is it formatted correctly for that purpose? And can you make money from it? Right? That's basically the four things I'm looking for. So that being said, let me find his beat. I think it's in my email. So I'm going to share my screen. Actually, I might share a tab. Give me 1 second. So let me find his beat. Fiction, also known as Pat Carney, sent one in. Here we go. All right. Okay. All right, so let me share my screen with audio. Sometimes I forget to add the audio, so I want to make sure I don't do that this time. Okay, here we go. All right, sharing the tab. Let me switch back to this view. All right, cool. So I'm going to hit play. Here we go. This is Fiction, also known as Pat Carney. And I think he was in the live earlier. I don't know if he's still in, but Pat, if you are listening, let me know what the purpose of this song was. If you had an idea of like how you might be able to make money from this. So here we go. right. That was Flip. What's up, Flip Banger? That is Pat Carney's beat. All right, hold on. Let me listen to the end one more time, real quick. That is Fiction. Everybody knows Fiction. Here we go. Oh wait, hold on. Let me hear that. All right, cool, cool, cool. Oh, so Pat, I don't know if you're listening or not. You may watch this on the replay, but Flip Banger is giving you a shout out. Lee Carter as well, saying it's really cool. Yeah, that was a dope beat. Um, I don't know what your purpose was for the beat, but let me know when you get a chance. I can hear a couple things. I think it's good for an artist. I don't know if you've mixed it completely, but the snare or there was like a clap and a snap at the same time at the beginning that was mixed a little hot. But I could hear this at two things. Like an artist, if well, first I thought the beat was going to be different. Like I thought it was going to be a happier beat, but this is more like it's got the trap drums to it, so it actually works better for like a hip hop something, right? Like Love and Hip Hop or like some reality show or something like that. I could totally hear it. It even had the sting ending. I would say if you're going to use it for something like that, you might want to drop the drums out of the second verse because the drums kind of play throughout the entire thing. Just give it a little bit of a break and a little bit of a breather for that. It's the right length for a TV sync placement, but it's the right length for an artist too. So I mean, it could go either way. It's a dope beat. Um, At first, oh, I was gonna say, at first, when I first heard the intro, I thought it was gonna have swing drums to it. So I'll show you what I mean. Which could work for like an ad for a happier like type of vibe. Like, and I know good time music there is kind of always in demand in sync, but here I'll just play the beginning real quick. You know what I mean? Like that swing feel. I don't know. I thought it was gonna go a different direction, but then it kinda came in with those, like, trap drums. Anyway, he just needs to put drums. Oh, no, there are drums all over it. I don't know. Oh, you mean like Tom Fills or something like that? I don't know. Yeah, that might be something. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like a swing feel, like the triplets, but, it's cool the way it is. Alright. Let me see what else I have on the agenda for today. I mean, that's about it, right? So to recap, today we went over mindsets, be adaptable, right? Like you have to move with the technology, you have to move with the times, you have to adapt your strategy, put your name out there. Don't just hold your music to yourself, get it out there, meet people, all of that. Uh, oh, he put drums at the end. Lee, I think he probably did need what's called a sting ending for sync placements, like where it kind of went bum bum. It kind of ended before it hit at that resolution. So maybe like one more bum at the end, right? But anyway, we learned about that in our mindset, be adaptable. To marketing, we went over the Facebook marketing strategy and we went over like how to build your own website and why having a website is still important. And then we did some music review. Pat, thank you so much for sending that in. Um, it was dope as always. You always make incredible music. And I always learn so much from you. So thanks for sending that in. But that's pretty much it for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and here, let me stop sharing my screen. We do this every week here at Producing for Artists. If you have not joined the group yet, go ahead and join. It's all about learning how to monetize our music, how to create revenue streams, how to make our music better, have the right mindset to keep doing it and not getting in your own way of being successful. It's also about marketing skills and connecting and making those connections that are going to help move your career forward. And then finally, all of that's going to help you monetize, right? We do this every week. So I want to thank the people that came into this one. Like I said, we chop this stream up into little bite-sized nuggets and post those all week as well. just to give you those little pieces of wisdom as your week goes on. Also very active in the group. So if you have any questions, just post it into Producing for Artists. It's a free Facebook group. You can get free courses, free stuff at jasondowdymusic.com, which is linked right at the top of the Producing for Artists group. But other than that, thanks for coming to this one, and I'll see you next week. But until then,